button, then that financial year will delete. Okay, you can add financial years by clicking this plus mark, and if you want to delete financial year, you can click this minus or red color button. Right, like that you can add or remove your financial years, and you can change your financial year start date and end date by clicking that date, and from this calendar you can select your financial year date, start date and end date. Right, next, current financial year. Now in this financial years there are several financial years, and you can tick current financial year. Now we are in 1st of April 2021 to 31st March 2022, that financial year. Therefore, we have ticked to current financial year. Right, now you can enter, you can create your financial years. Please create financial years from 1st of April 2020 to 31st March 2023. That means you need to create 3 financial years, and tick this option current financial year, tick for 1st of April 2021 to 31st March 2022. Okay, after you create more than one company, one financial year, this tick will be available. Please create 3 financial years from 1st of April 2022 to 31st March 2023. Right. Now you have created financial years. So now if previous financial years available, you can enter all transactions or all outstanding. If your customer or supplier has all outstanding, you can enter that outstanding. Then next we will move to lockdown date. Now lockdown date is used for, now sometimes your users may by mistake enter transactions for previous years. Now we are in 2021 2022 year. Sometimes by mistake your users may enter transaction previous or old years or future years, or sorry, all years they may enter transaction. Sometimes even after we completed the audits, they may enter transaction for that previous year. Now we can block that erroneous transactions by setting a lockdown date. We can tick this for set a lockdown date, and we can set a lockdown date. Then your users cannot enter transaction prior to this period. Okay, you can set a lockdown date, and your user, if you set a lockdown date, your users cannot enter transactions prior to this period. Now especially after you complete the audit, you can enter that previous year date as previous financial year end date as lockdown date. And if you are even after close your monthly accounts also, you can set lockdown date as your previous month in date. Okay, from lockdown date you can block erroneous transactions for previous years. Right, now you can set a lockdown date. There's a question, is it possible to use our smartphones to do this? Yes, you can log in from your smartphone also. You can enter this URL and you can log into the system. Right. Now in practical situation, assume now we are in 31st March this 2023 year, and you want to create new financial year. Now after you end this period, when you are logging first time to the system will ask message, do you want to create financial year? Then you can click yes and you can create a financial year, or if you want to create financial year for future year, you can create manually from here. Okay, I'll repeat that lockdown date again. Right. Now assume now there may be some users may erroneously enter transactions for previous years. Therefore you can block that entering erroneous entries for previous years. You can set a lockdown date, and you can tick this lockdown date, and you can set a date. Then after you set a date, now we will set lockdown date for 31st March 2021. Okay, now we will set lockdown date as 31st March 2021. Then your users cannot enter transactions prior to this period. Okay, this feature you can use as a control feature. You can block if your users entering erroneous transactions for previous year. You can block that from by setting a lockdown date. First, you need to tick this set a lockdown date tick box and enter date. After that, prior to this date, your users cannot enter transactions. Right. And there's another question. Now assume in practical situation, your company may accept PD checks or post-dated checks. And if you accept post-dated checks, now for an example, assume we are in 31st March 2020. Today date is 31st March 2020. And we don't have, we haven't created future year. Next year we haven't created. But we received a check from our customer for 1st of April 2022. Then if we haven't this financial year, we cannot enter that transaction. So if you are accepting previous PD checks, or if you are issuing PD checks to your suppliers, it's better to create financial year. Next financial year also you can create from here. Okay, it's only it's optional. If you are accepting PD checks, or if you are giving PD checks, you can create a next year also, then you can enter that transactions. Okay, after you enter or create financial years and set a lockdown date, you can save this. And also there's no, in the Sage Business Cloud Accounting, there's no any year in processes. Only thing is you need to create a new financial year, then you can continue your transactions. There's no any year in process or month in process, so you can continue by creating a new financial year from here. Right. Can you all view this current financial year tick box? If anyone cannot view this current financial year, or can you drag this? If you are not, it's not available, can you drag this current financial year little left side and view? There's another question. When we put 2021 as the lockdown date, we get are you sure, because it's in the current financial year. Now I have entered now our financial year end date is 31st. Previous financial year end date is 31st March 2021. So current financial year start from 1st of April 2021. Therefore, you can enter lockdown date as 31st March 2021. Or if you haven't completed your audits, or if you want to enter transactions for previous year, or if you haven't finalized your financial statements, you can change this date and you can enter transactions for that period. Another question, you are practicing your company, existing company, there is no question. Okay, you can enter any details here or any transactions here. You can change current details, and it's not issue with other user system. Okay, you can change this company details, so you can enter financial years. Right, next we will move to rounding. Is it clear? Financial years and lockdown date. After you enter financial years and lockdown date, you can save. Right, next we will move to rounding. Now from here we can rounding up, rounding down, normal rounding or no rounding, and we can enter to nearest rounding. Okay, if you are selecting rounding up or rounding down, you can enter this round to nearest. Sometimes some companies may not display cents in their reports or transactions. Therefore, if you want, you can round up or round down. If you don't want to round up or round down, you can select no rounding. Then system will display actual amount. Okay, when you are calculating tax also, sometimes there may be decimal places. If you want to enter same decimal places, you can set this no rounding. Then transaction will based on without no rounding. And if you want to round up or round down, you can select these options, and you can enter round to nearest. Okay, after, if you want to change, you can change and you can save. Right, next we will move to regional settings. Now from these regional settings, we can set our company currency, then decimal places for our quantity, values and hours, and we can set date formats. Now when we are entering transactions, I'll open a quotation. When you are entering transactions, you can see there are two decimal places for quantity and two decimal places for the values, price values. Okay, you can set that decimal places from these regional settings. If you want to increase or decrease your quantity decimal places, you can change from here. Now for an example, if you are selling assume you are selling computers, or then that computers has no decimal places, then you can enter 0 under quantity decimal places. Then you cannot view decimal places here. And sometimes if you are selling that items in kilograms, then you need to display 3 decimal places in quantity. Then you can enter 3 as quantity decimal places. And if you want to display decimal places cents here, you can enter 2. Or if you want to display only rupee value, you can change this value decimal places to 0. Okay, then these decimal places will not display. Now we have changed this quantity decimal places. Now if you select any item, you can see 3 decimal places under quantity. Okay, like that you can change your decimal places or value decimal places or quantity decimal places. And also from this system you can enter your time sheets. You can enter your values, or sorry, hours or minutes. If you want to change these decimal places, you can change from hours decimal places. Okay, sometimes you cannot view these hours decimal places. It's an add-on module. Now we will discuss how to add add-on module. There are 4 add-on modules. Time tracking, multi-currency, advanced inventory and debtors manager. You can activate your add-on modules. Go to administration, my profile, and click this upgrade button. You can enter one under this time tracking, multi-currency, advanced inventory and debtors manager. Okay, in addition to this normal system, there are 4 add-on modules. You can activate those modules from administration, my profile, click this upgrade, enter one under time tracking, multi-currency, advanced inventory and debtors manager. Okay, please activate your add-on modules. Okay, yeah, in addition to these basic features, there are 4 add-on modules. You can activate those add-on modules from administration, my profile, click this upgrade, by clicking this time tracking, by enter one under time tracking, multi-currency, advanced inventory and debtors manager, click next and finish. Then your add-on modules will activate. In addition to that, now in your system you are entitled for 2 users. You can view your number of users and number of companies. If you want to increase your number of companies, you can enter how many companies you want to add. Now for an example, if you want to add another company, you can enter here, enter one here. And if you want to add additional user, now currently you have 2 users. If you want to add another user, you can enter one. Now this system, you can store your documents. Now for an example, if you are signing an agreement with your customer, you can attach those agreements and any other documents to the system. So the system has 1 GB capacity. If you want to increase, you can enter or you can required amount you can enter here, right? From here you can upgrade your system. Go to administration, my profile, click this upgrade. You can activate your add-on modules by enter one here for time tracking, multi-currency, advanced inventory, and data manager. And if you want to increase your number of companies, you can enter one. Or if you want to increase your additional users, number of additional users, that numbers you can enter. And if you want to increase your storage capacity, you can enter required capacity here. Okay, after you enter, click next and finish, then those add-on modules will activate. Right. Next one, currency symbol. Now you can enter your currency symbol here. Sometimes some companies may use LKR, or some companies may use RS or for office. You can enter your required currency symbol. Now if you enter that currency symbol here, that symbol will display when you are entering transactions. Now here you can see this for all amounts it will display LKR, and if you change this LKR to RS, you can view that amounts as RS. Okay, you can enter LKR or RSO. If you are implementing for a foreign company, you can enter USD or that company currency. Okay. And one important thing, if you are entering rupees or any currency, please not put that dot or full stop and no spaces, only these letters. Please enter only letters. Now if you are entered dot or full stop, then there will be some issues, because sometimes this coding also use these dots. Therefore please not enter dots or spaces after you enter currency symbol. Okay. Next, date format. You can select date format from here. First one, DDMMYYY. If you select the first option, your date format will display as first date, then second month, finally year. And if you select second option, then system will display year first, then month, finally date. And if you select MMDDYY, then when your date will display first month, second date, finally year. Okay, according to your company requirement, you can select this date format. Okay, now you can enter your regional settings and save. Okay, is it clear? Right, shall we go for a small break? We will go for 10-minute break, and we will start by 4:45. And if you have any questions, please ask, or you can message.
Thank you, Mr. Chandler. We'll join again.
Right. Okay, shall we start? Right, now we have completed up to regional settings. If you have any questions, you can ask, or appreciate if you can comment on the speed explanations and practical scenarios. Appreciate if you can give any comment on speed and system explanation. Okay, there are a few questions. Today we registered to the course, so we are valid for the course. Yeah, of course, if you have the link, you can participate for the course. And also, if you are not if you haven't received that registration mail, please send an email, or you can contact through your lecturer. And if you haven't received your mail, first check your spam mail or junk mail. And if you haven't not received that mail, if you haven't received the mail, please communicate through your lecturer, or you can email to chan@pwholdings.lk. Okay, there's no anyone can join, because things in this, especially in this COVID period, you cannot properly participate for your lectures. So therefore, please, if you are interested for this course, please join, and please send your contact details, your first name, last name, and email address. Then we will create system user. We will register user. So you can anyone can join, and please get proper knowledge from this course and improve your knowledge. Okay, right. Next, we will move to customer and supplier settings. First one, warn when duplicate customer reference used on customer invoices. Now, from these settings, we are implementing if our users by mistake enter wrong information, we will block that. Okay, now first one, warn when duplicate customer reference and customer reference used on customer invoices. Now, when you are entering customer transaction, customer tax invoices, you can enter customer reference. Now, for an example, sometimes when your customers order goods from you, they will send a purchase order, or they will send any document. And if they are in send purchase orders, you can enter that purchase order as a customer reference. And from these settings, warn when duplicate customer reference used on customer invoices, that means system will display an alert you are entering same or previously used customer reference. Because now if your customer send one purchase order, assume PO01, then next time also that customer will not send same purchase order number. Okay, that time it may be PO02. So therefore, if you are entering same customer reference number, system will think you are, or your user will enter incorrect or erroneously enter reference number. Therefore, system will display warning alert. Okay, assume enter one transaction. Right, now we will enter same reference number again. Previous one PU0001. This one also we will enter PU001. Okay, now you can see there's a alert. The customer reference entered in this document has already been used for this customer. Do you want to continue? So previous transactions also, previous tax invoice, customer reference number PU001. This one also PU001. So customer system thinks it's a mistake by user. Therefore, system will display warning alert. Okay, if you want to continue, you can click yes, and you can continue the transaction. Or if you think this is an incorrect customer reference, you can click no and you can correct the number. Okay, if you are set this warn when duplicate customer references used on customer invoice, system will display alert. Then if you want to continue, you can click yes, or if you want to change your reference number, you can click no and you can change reference number. Right. Second one, warn when duplicate supplier invoice number used on supplier invoices. Now you will purchase goods or services from your supplier, and you will enter that supplier invoice to the system. Now when you are entering supplier invoice, you can enter supplier invoice number. Here you can enter your supplier invoice number. We will enter first one PW001 as supplier invoice number. Again, we will enter another supplier invoice. Again, system will display the supplier invoice number entered in this document has already been used for this supplier. Do you want to continue? Now suppliers will not send same invoice number twice. Therefore, system will think this is a incorrect number. Therefore, system will display this alert or warning message, and if it is correct, you can continue, or if it is no, you can click no and you can change the number. Is it clear? First two options, warn when duplicate customer reference used on customer invoices. Second one, warn when duplicate supplier invoice number used on supplier invoices. Then if you are entering duplicate number, you can block that erroneous transactions. Okay. Right. Third one, display inactive customers for selection when processing. Now from this system, you can create your customers. Go to customers and click add a customer. From here, you can enter your customer details and you can create customers. Then after that, after you create customers and after you selling goods to your customers, later you will found that customer will not pay properly. Okay, they will not properly pay for you, therefore there may be outstanding from that customer. In that case, you want to inactivate or block that customer. Okay, assume now we have some customer list. This A01 customer will not pay properly, therefore we want to block or inactive that customer. For inactivate, we can untick this option, active button, then that customer will inactivated and we cannot sell for that customer. Okay, now you can see this active column. Actually currently you in your list system there's no any customers. From this active you can view first one there's no tick, and second one there's a tick. That means first customer we have inactivated, therefore there's no tick. Then in this display inactive customers for selection when processing. Now you can enter customer transactions from these transactions, and you can select customer from here. Now you can see that A01 customer not display here. We will go to our customer list. First customer is A01, but when we are entering transactions, that customer will not display. That is because we have set display inactive customers for selection when processing. That means for that inactivated customers will not display in transaction customer menu, customer drop down menu. Okay, now in practical situation, your management or your credit controller will decide this customer will not pay properly, therefore he wants to block that customer. And if they inactivated that customer, your users, other your cashiers or who enter invoices, they cannot enter transactions for that customer. Okay, now if your customer, if you don't want to continue for a particular customer, you can block that customer, and your users cannot enter transactions for that customer. Okay, now you cannot see A01 customer because we have inactivated that customer. Right. From this option, display inactive customers for selection when processing, if you untick this option, those inactivated customers will not display, and if you tick this option, those inactivated customers also display. Okay, we will save this customer, save this, and we will enter trans. Okay. Okay, we have a customer called access. We inactivated that customer. Now here we will tick this option, display inactive customers for selection when processing. Okay, now you can view that inactivated customer. System also display warning this customer is not active. So this, from this option, if you want, you can display inactivated customers for transactions processing time, or if you want to block that customers for transactions. Second option, that fourth one, display inactive suppliers for selection when processing. Same way, if you have suppliers, now for an example, after purchasing with some supplier, you will realize that supplier prices is high compared to other suppliers. Therefore, you will block that supplier. To block that supplier, you can untick this option, active tick, and save. Then this supplier is inactivated. Now, after you enter transactions, if you untick this option, system will not display that supplier. If you tick this option, system will display that supplier for transaction processing. Okay, here that supplier will display, and system will make an alert, this supplier is not active.